to another edition of Raise the Bar. Last week, we spoke of the importance of incorporating proper nutrition and recovery to maximize gains from training. Andy, it's good to have you back with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's get into our topic of why we need to focus on long-term health habits and not short-term quick fixes. No more crash diets or 30-day detoxes. Tell us why short-term quick fixes or fad diets are not the answer to achieving your dream physique.
I have an analogy and I literally just thought about it. So imagine you were running, right? If I asked you to sprint at max speed, you'd probably run for about 50 to 100 meters before you run out of gas and you slow down and you have to start walking, right? So I'd like to use it as an analogy to set up the answer, right? Because what you want to do to get to your goals is find sustainable practices, right? Things that are going to get you to play the long game, the infinite game.
That's right.
Because it's going to be a bit harsh, but you should stop when you drop dead. That's when this game ends.
That's
right.
Yeah.
The goal of health and fitness is to keep playing the game.
Okay.
Right? The moment you stop playing the game, the moment you stop thinking of health and fitness, the game ends sooner.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I like to use that analogy when explaining this concept to people because you've got to find sustainable practices.
Yeah.
Things that will take you the distance.
That's right.
Yeah.
And whether their goal is to lose weight or gain strength, still a long-term process.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that goes into it other than training.
Yeah.
And I know at CrossFit Ceylon, there are simple but powerful pillars that you use and are proven to give results.
Yeah.
What are they? And run us through as to how you use them to help your clients achieve their goals.
Got it. I mean, so like we talked about in the last episode, I think sleep, nutrition, recovery, stress management, right, are all crucial, right? The training is also crucial.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we'll talk about training is like the first thing about training is training intensity, right? It's really not that important what you do as long as you have good training intensity, right?
Right.
Some people think you should only use dumbbells. Some people say barbells are dangerous. Some people say you should do body weight. Some people say, there's so many schools of thought, right?
Yeah.
And so it's important to not get lost in those schools of thought and understand that training intensity is the single most important thing. There are training principles. If you go to any strength and conditioning practice, you will see that they use principles to progress, to overload, to manage frequency, to manage volume, right? It's a little bit of a science. Well, it is a science, right? But it's a loose science, right? Because what works for you may not work for me.
For sure.
You can still use all those principles, and so it's an adjustment of those principles. So I think training intensity is important. Number one thing. If you don't train hard enough, you're getting nothing out of it. But I think the most important thing is slowly putting all of these components together over time.
Yeah.
Right? I personally took 5-6 years to get it all synced and linked up to where I was like, okay, I know everything I need to do. I may deviate for 1 or 2 months, but when I come back, I know exactly where I need to be. What my day needs to look like, right? What my sleep routine needs to look like, because you're a product of what you do every day, right?
Yeah.
And so I know what the day needs to look like to get the result.
That's right.
And so it literally comes down to, boom, this is what the day looks like and this is what I'm going to do for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to get results then. It's just figuring out what that day looks like is what takes a long time.
I think one of the things that people, I don't know, in my opinion, do wrong is not understanding how your body adapts to different cues. You know, you need to check what kind of food that best suits you and what type of training and what phase you are in if you're a woman. And everything plays a massive role. One of the things that I've struggled with over the past years is losing my weight and then gaining it back on in a short period of time. And that is when I realized I cannot do that anymore because as you age, it becomes harder and harder to lose weight.
And it's not healthy.
And it's not healthy. And I'm cutting out tremendous amount of calories. I'm removing so much of food out of my diet, and that's not something that is sustainable. So I wanted to move out of it and start looking at chasing strength instead of chasing weight loss. So that has really helped me. And what advice would you give to those who are coming in and get them to focus on getting yourself fit and living a healthy life as opposed to wanting to chase weight loss? Because weight loss is not the end game, right? Because if you're going to chase weight loss, you're going to be chasing that forever.
I mean, what are you losing? Are you losing losing body fat? Are you losing muscle mass? Are you losing water? Are you losing bone tissue? Bone mineral? Are you losing ligaments? Are you losing tendons? Like everything's just slowly depleting. You can lose weight until you just deplete to death, right? If you starve yourself, that's what goes. Like you could, like, your bones get so weak they break, right? And so you see a lot of people that struggle with anorexia, they start breaking bones and stuff. They start, dislocating shoulders. They start, like very basic things, like, and so I would say body composition. You talked about the in-body scan that you did. Amazing scan, because it's pretty available all over the world. To be honest with you, if it's available in Sri Lanka, you can do it anywhere on the planet, right? And so, because a lot of the technologies that are available overseas are very difficult to come by here, but we have some of those technologies, like the in-body scan, and they're really cheap to do. And so body composition is a much better way to measure your progress as opposed to this daily weight measurement, which is not telling you the whole story. If you're super overweight, it can tell you a whole story, like a better story than if you're closer to target body weight. There's not much room for movement, right?
So you said eat less, move more. It's a very difficult thing for most people to do, and it takes a lot of self-restraint and discipline. How can you approach this on a different context? Pull your body for movement instead of cutting out on a lot of...
So there is a difference between calories and volume, right?
Right.
So if I put 100 grams of rice on a plate and I put 100 grams of cucumbers, they're both 100 grams. Right? The food volume is the same. Right? But the calories are different, right? And so one of the best strategies if you're trying to get healthy is increase food volume. Find things that are lower in total calories. Fruits, vegetables, meat. Everyone has heard this, right? And that's the idea behind all of this. Because you can eat a lot of food in terms of volume and still be low in caloric intake. And things like protein have what's called a high thermic effect. Very simple terms, when you eat foods that are high in the thermic effect, it just takes more energy to digest. Your body just needs more resources. So you just stay full for a long period of time, right? So you want to eat foods like that as well. So foods that are high in volume, that have high thermic effect, right? So then you'll just be full for long periods of time, and you won't really be eating a lot of calories. So I think that's why I believe it's eat more calories in, calories out is a real thing. That's
but
how
it
you
is what you actually take in as calories. You can still have a huge portion of good food as opposed to what
voluminous.
you're not supposed to. The volume.
So like calories in, calories out is 100%. It's a law, right? But how you get there is not so linear. And like eat less, move more. I used to say that. I used to tell people that eat less, move more. Technically, it's correct, right? But the how you apply it is it's a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more complex, because there's different people in front of you, different hormone profiles, digestive tracts, different taste buds. Some people do not want to eat vegetables at all. Like hell no, I'm not eating vegetables. Right? And so you can't tell those people eat vegetables. So there's a different way to attack that, kind of solve that problem differently, right? So that's why the eat less, move more is a very difficult thing to execute in real world application.
It's real, but then we'll have to apply it in different ways according to different lifestyles as well, isn't it? And you see a lot of people sometimes struggling for the longest time to lose their body weight. And then you have the others who are, bang, 1 year, they gain, they've lost the body weight they want to lose, they're back on track. So it's really demotivating at times, I would say, but then it also comes from self-discipline. Wanting to be in the game for a long period of time, without which you're not going to achieve this physique that you're dreaming of, right?
No way.
Yeah.
Like there is no shortcut. I mean, even with drugs, like performance enhancing drugs, even with that you have to work so hard, It just, you work hard, you recover really fast, so you can work hard again. It's not like you take steroids and like you get results for both parties, right? You've got to do the work regardless, right? So yes, it's your body needs some sort of stress to change. It's not just going to change for no reason.
So one of the things that people struggle with is having to change their habits that they've been used to for a long period of time. What advice would you give them to make those sustainable but simple swap in habits?
I think so. The most important thing is change one thing at a time, right? You can change your you can start training and improve your diet at the same time, but first just go to the gym. Forget about the diet. Get to the gym. Don't solve problems that do not currently exist. The problem that is right in front of you is you don't even go to the gym. So go to the gym. Step one.
You need some sort of movement, right? Get your movement.
Exactly. Just get it. Go to the gym, right? Now, maybe you can't get to the gym. Okay, now then focus on your diet, right? Just get started. Pick one of these pillars and get started. So generally it's like, go to the gym first. Okay, train for a few, weeks. Don't worry about the diet. Keep doing what you're doing. As a result of going to the gym, your cravings are going to change a little bit, right? You're going to want more salty foods because you're sweating.
Okay.
You know, you're going to want more protein because you feel like you need to recover. It's just instinctive. It's
Okay.
inbuilt into our biology. Start there, and then there will be a point where like, okay, it's time to like, I need to like take it to the next step. I need to figure out what I need to do with my diet. Then move to diet, and then bit by bit you'll start improving one thing at a time and start aligning all of these pillars together.
Okay.
But generally, it's like we were talking earlier. Is if you don't have time, you have 5 minutes, go walk.
Yeah.
Create
Or play
that
a
momentum.
sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Do
Play
something.
sport.
You
Play
don't
sport.
have to always hit the gym.
You don't.
Just
You
do
don't.
have
Something.
some sort of
Yeah,
movement.
yeah. Do something.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest mistake people make. They think that if they do not have the perfect conditions, it's not right to start yet.
Yeah.
Whereas I say find the worst conditions you could possibly find and execute there, then nothing will stop you.
That's
right.
right.
There will be no condition that can make you feel like you can't do it. So regardless of what the conditions are, pick something, start executing, start applying it, start executing.
You see the effect of it,
Yeah.
and then you feel better. And then you want to do it more often.
Yeah.
And that's how you actually start building those habits,
Yeah,
right?
momentum.
Momentum, there you go.
starts.
Yeah,
It just
block by
keeps-
block.
yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And you're not going to feel great the first day you go to the gym. No, it's going to be hard.
It's gonna be terrible.
It's going to be terrible.
So
yeah.
you're not going to want to go back, but
Yeah.
you're going to go home, you're going to sit back and be like, okay, that felt good. I feel good.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I did something. You'll feel accomplished. You'll have all these hormones
Oh, yeah.
releasing through your
Oh,
brain
yeah.
and
Yeah.
chemicals releasing through your brain. You feel good,
Yeah.
right?
And after a while, you'll wonder, do you know I'm feeling different? Why is the body pain?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, you get so accustomed to
Yeah,
having those body pains,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
After the
yeah.
workout,
They're
you're
just
like,
sore
oh, something is
from-
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to keep going
exactly,
back to it. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I think get started, create some momentum, and just do the first thing. Don't
Yeah.
try to do everything. Do the
Yeah.
first thing, the easiest one that you can do.
I think the easiest one is get into a good gym,
Yeah.
get a good coach who understands. I know there's a lot of training and coaching out there.
Yeah, so
and
much,
So many.
so much.
But you've got to choose actually what is going to benefit you long term.
Yeah. Do what you enjoy also.
Yeah, exactly. And have an environment that is actually going to help you evolve. Otherwise, you're going to be like, okay, going to a place and you've been looking like that for so many years.
Yeah,
so then you know you've got to make a change. You've got to move out of
Yeah,
that place.
that ain't the right
you know,
place for you.
something is not right. You've got to fix it. Yeah?
For sure. That's good advice. I like that. Yeah.
Right.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But if nothing's changing,
Yeah.
change.
Change.
Right.
Yeah. You're not a tree. Move.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Move.
Because as we evolve and as we age, things get harder, not easier.
Yeah, for sure.
And you want to be able to do things without assistance. And that's the whole point.
For sure.
And live a more happier, healthier life, because the older we get, the more issues we have and the more help then we seek.
Yeah.
So if you want to be independent and be able to do things on your own, go out there, get yourself fit and strong, find the right coaches, the right training program for you. It might take you a while, but don't stick to a plan that's not actually giving you results. But if you feel like it's not giving you results, move on.
Yeah.
You're doing something fundamentally wrong.
Yes.
That's not giving you the results that you're looking for,
sure.
right?
Yeah. I would say if there are people out there that like reading, there is one book I think everyone should read. It's called Outlive. I quote it a lot in the articles by a guy named Dr. Peter Attia. Broad stroke over his work is he's a doctor and he realized that medicine wasn't doing justice to the general population. Medicine was reactive, that you get sick, here's your medicine, whereas he's taken on this thought of making medicine more proactive. And so he calls it medicine 3.0. So it's medicine 1.0 when medicine first started, medicine 2.0, which is everything we had until now, and he's trying to bring on medicine 3.0, which is more proactive. Like before you get sick, let's see what's going on under the hood. So it's a really good book, gives you a lot of insight. Definitely read it if you're a reader.
I mean, a good health doesn't come easy. You've got to work hard. You've got to work tiringly towards it, just like you're going to work 9 to 5 in a job, or you're a full-time mom, whatever may be. It's time we prioritize ourselves, our health as well, because if you're not in our best optimal health, what are the chances that we can be of benefit to anyone else around us?
For sure. And get ready to say no a lot. You know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of no's. You wanna come? No. You wanna come? No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Your circle of friends are going to change.
For sure.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to go to those places that you otherwise went. You've got to make those lifestyle changes as well, isn't it? It's a holistic life. You're going to make your life looking very different, and you're going to for sure feel good as well.
And you'll find people in that same circle, and you'll have a new group of friends. This is bad advice, but you gotta leave your friends.
But sometimes if you got to think for yourself, and if you're not really, progressing, then you got to make some drastic changes in life.
Yeah, you'll blend into a new circle of friends, a new circle of people that have the same, passions, likes.
Or
interests.
you get your friends following you,
Yeah,
which is even better.
Even better.
Yeah,
that's a
you'll
good
have
point.
them,
That's a good
following
point.
you, and you'll be the inspiration information for most of them.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that version better.
Perfect. All right. Okay. So thank you for being with us today again, Andy, and looking forward for many more articles with you.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of things out there that people are struggling with to understand, because there's a lot of information out there in the media that is confusing. And we are here to sort of eliminate all of that and give you the raw details. So yeah, until next time, we'll see you back again on another edition.